How do you turn straw into gold? This is the question 3 friends and I were asking when we started the Urban Mushroom, a gourmet mushroom farm in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We ran the numbers and took the leap, rented a building, built a grow room, and kick-started our production cycle with 100 bags of inoculated straw. Our first harvest was amazing. So amazing, we ended up with way more shrooms than we could move. Willie Street Food Co-op's Retail Ready Lab would have been the perfect solution to help us overcome the obstacles we faced in bringing our shrooms to market. I sat down with the team that brought the lab to life and learned how they're helping local entrepreneurs overcome challenges to getting their products on store shelves all around the capital.
My name is Megan Minnick.
My name is Jeremy Johnson.
My name is Patrick Strader.
I'm Angela Pullman.
We are approached by so many vendors on a regular basis that we just don't have the capacity to bring into our small stores. So Angie had the idea of what if we give them a month, test their products, at least then we're able to give people a try.
The Retail Ready Lab is a way for us to give a platform for vendors, small businesses and such in the Madison area, Wisconsin state, and give them a place to try and test the market with their products.
Do you like that? You didn't do that with the other one. No, that's what he really liked. It's so funny.
I make fresh, frozen, organic, locally sourced baby food.
Amanda from Little Food, again, she approached us, put in an application for Retail Ready Lab, and that was one where all the grocery folks, the grocery managers, grocery category manager, were all like, frozen baby food, I don't know, kind of a weird thing, I don't know if anybody's gonna buy it.
So I applied online to the Retail Ready Lab in the spring. I was really excited when I was reading about it online because I thought it really suited what I was looking for. I started this business at a farmer's market, which is where we're at right now, and I really valued that approach, that grassroots approach. Creating a business and a product based on the feedback that I'm receiving from families.
I was interested in her product because I have a baby, and because I'm really interested in local food and she's using local produce in her baby foods. I thought it was a really nice product for us to carry.
I felt like I was kind of embraced by Willie Street. I felt like I went to go meet with Megan and she had this outline of what I all needed to provide, and for me that helped take something that might seem overwhelming to break it down into little sections into something that was attainable, and then I set my own goals. It's just been a really neat way for me to strategize my growth in the wholesale.
So we tried it, and you know, in the end I feel like we have brought it into 2 of our stores. She did a ton of sampling, and in the end for her, though her product probably was an underdog going in, her passion for it has really is what set her apart. Her in the stores selling it, her just like, she's just a force to be reckoned with, and she will sample it out to grown-ups, to babies, she will talk about it, and it's actually really delicious even if you're a grown-up. So I think people who go to her sampling try it, and then they tell their friends who have babies, and you know, word kind of spreads.
The response has been really good. I feel like in Madison especially, there's a lot of like-minded people like me that are busy, that are health-minded, and really want a good, healthy product to serve their babies, and are really seeing that there's not something that's out there currently. So I feel like I align really well with the demographics in that area, and it's been received really well, and I've received feedback from my website and also through the Retail Ready Lab feedback forums about my product, and that people are really enjoying it.
I would say one that going in I was not really sure would work, but it seems like through her sheer force of will she has made that product work, which was cool to see.
That's pretty good. Yeah, nice big plump seed. That's what I want to see.
We're cultivating the commons. The point person was Melissa, and she worked with Clint, who's a local guy who does a lot of like really seeds of varieties of plants that you would grow for food that are not easy to find.
I was very appreciative of all the products they offer and their focus on local food and supporting local farmers first and foremost. And at all the farms I worked at, we supplied stuff to them. Okay. And so when I came here, they had a very direct line. Almost all of our wholesale is directly to them. Okay. So it was a very natural relationship that followed, to just contact them and be like a good place to test these waters. A lot of people that come there are gardeners as well, you know, and have their own thing going. Okay. So it was a very direct courting. We kind of had our foot in the door already, and it was just a matter of saying, hey, stopping by, talking about the seed, what do you think of the packaging? And they're like, you'd be a good candidate for this project. So, and then just kind of blossomed from there pretty fast.
He had been farming and he wanted to try his hand at like selling heirloom seeds, and so he made like little packages with labels and stuff and gave us a display. And
they kind of sign you up, get you ready, and then you have a debut month, and then you have to like bring your seed in and stand at a booth and talk to folks a few times. It's just totally awesome. I would love to do that more.
We ask every vendor to do demos, and so we're like, how do you demo seeds? But he actually made like a little game where you had to like identify the seed, like match it up on this little grid he made with the plant. It was really fun and cute, and kids really love to play that for some reason. He would give people samples of seed and that sort of thing. This one's a little bit more challenging because it's not like, a chip or a lotion or something where you can, immediately know or very quickly know whether or not you like it. We're not going to know until the end of the growing season if people like the product. But we felt good enough about sales that we were interested in partnering with him for next season.
I actually have to find a very specific niche of people, very excited about this, and then be very well timed to their needs. So I'm looking forward. This is a great introduction, and like, oh, yeah, that worked pretty well. Let's do it again, and see where it goes next year. So we kind of, again, tried to grow things that we seemed functional or useful for small-scale gardeners, and that seemed fun. That seemed, like would be good varieties that they would appreciate. Like not a wild vine squash, maybe a more considerate one that only goes 3 or 4 feet from its home. Things like that.
We kind of get to be like the guy on the inside or the woman on the inside, right, for these vendors. Like when we become their point person in the Retail Ready Lab, it's like Melissa didn't have governance over whether that product came into the store, but she was a really strong advocate for it. Like she was passionate about it, she saw the value in it, she was like, this is exciting, this is new, this is something that's really cool, and the person who's behind it is worth our time. And I think it was in part her spirit too that really brought that to that kind of resolution.
Put something up at Willie Street and that grabs attention, and people are like, oh, I'm really interested, and then you start making connections.
This was a program where we could kind of like shield ourselves from risk and also shield the businesses from risk, giving like everyone involved kind of like a safe space to just explore. So it's like, you're not making a commitment and we're not making a commitment, but we're here for you, and we can, if you need help with packaging, we're going to help you with that. If you need to figure out how to format your invoice, we can help you with that. If you need some connections for, distribution, we can help you with that.
Sun Garden is my favorite story, I think. Mostly because we didn't sell any of that product, nor did we bring the product in. Yet it's really a success story.
Sun Garden Greenhouse is about providing job opportunities and training, and a safe space for adults with disabilities here in Southwest Wisconsin. We do that as a part of Southwest Opportunity Center, our parent agency, which is one city block down Industrial Park Road.
Sarah from Sun Garden had emailed us, I don't know, it was probably back last fall sometime, with this kind of crazy idea she had about selling potted turmeric plants as a house plant.
At that point, I didn't have turmeric ready to harvest, but I had potted up a lot of plants and realized that they were just gorgeous.
I am a gardener. I like have house plants, and I sort of thought, well, it's an interesting idea. I think turmeric is a super trendy thing right now, so maybe this is something that could work. And so I slotted it into the January Retail Ready Lab, which seemed like a great idea at the time, because January is when people are doing New Year's resolutions, they're thinking about health, and turmeric is definitely kind of a healthy trend right now.
And they agreed that that was a good idea. They were a harder sell than we thought.
What we didn't know is that turmeric is like the most sensitive plant that I have ever experienced, ever. So Sarah brought her turmeric in probably the last week of December.
I was
Were you
there.
here?
I was the only one there to help her receive it.
And we happened to be having this crazy cold snap where it was like -20. It was so cold.
And she came up to the office and she said, okay, we're gonna have to do this really quickly or something like that. And I've got the plants in bags, and what I think we can do is we can kind of like, run out, grab one, and then, like football carry it into, like let's run it up into the office as fast as possible and reduce the amount of air exposure that it has. And I was like, oh, I hope I don't mess this up.
Well, we got them in, and then I came in a couple days later, and they had started to sort of wilt and die back. So I called her up, and we realized that even that was not enough. Despite that, we still sent them to the stores, and then I think several of us had put them in our cars in bags, the same sort of like running from your car to the store. And I think through the month we probably sold 4 or 5 plants. Like, it was pretty sad.
But through our association, we had the conversation about, what their needs were and what we could do to fill that need while we had, a greenhouse that we were re-steering. So we agreed on that, I knew how to grow a little bit of basil. They could use some basil, so we switched into basil production more seriously.
Kind of after the whole turmeric debacle, I worked with her to develop clamshells, clamshell basil that's hydroponically grown and beautiful, and we're selling it in all of our stores more in the winter. Been selling it, and it's sold really well and been a really nice income stream for her. So it was a really great thing that kind of came out of that relationship that would have never have started had she not had that crazy idea. And we're actually, as of next week, we'll be selling her turmeric root in the produce departments, which I'm confident will sell. It's not a plant.
They support, local agriculture, but beyond that, they're all about community, And I had reached out to other retail establishments that, on meeting and sharing samples with them, they pretty much assured me that they promised me that they were going to treat me really badly. And I thought, well, let's keep looking, This arrangement, it's a natural, They can get behind our social capitalism. We're really trying to make money here, but we're doing a social good as well as providing a fantastic product at a reasonable price.
From my understanding,
You could just say
Whole
some,
Foods is
Other large retailers.
retailers
Yeah,
are not
Whole Foods
working with local vendors as much as they have in the past.
Right.
And co-ops, that's our bread and butter, is working with local vendors.
Just below the forest floor lives a complex network of tiny white tendrils known as hyphae. Together, these hyphae make up a mycelial mat, the source of mushrooms in the digestive system of the forest. These tiny little threads connect to the roots of individual trees and intelligently distribute vital nutrients from one tree to another, creating a communications network that helps maintain equilibrium and health amongst all the trees of the forest. In a similar way, Willie Street Food Co-op is like a mycelial network, moving nutrients from the hands of local entrepreneurs into the hearts and homes of their surrounding community. Their 35,000 member owners provides the framework for a community-owned store that is creating a more resilient local economy in and around Madison, Wisconsin. As an owner of a food co-op, you have the opportunity to strengthen your local economy by supporting local entrepreneurs in their endeavors to create a more beautiful world. If you don't have a food co-op in your city, There are resources available to help guide the process of getting one started in your community. Visit the Food Co-op Initiative at fci.coop for more information. 1, 2, 3, go.
Celebrate cooperation! I was waiting for the wave.
Purchase a Celebrate Cooperation t-shirt or make a donation and get featured as a producer on our next episode, Food Co-ops Are Organic. In this episode, I'll be traveling to Co-op Partners Warehouse in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and learning how food co-ops have been at the forefront of the organic food movement, as well as some of the challenges the organic food movement faces today. You can purchase your t-shirt or make a donation at goodinc.com/co-op nation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.